What's up, Stitt-Heads? Welcome back. Oh man, almost forgot the infamous noise. Crack. Here we go. We're gonna have a good one today. A lot of conspiracies usually on this show, government, world stuff, but man, deep in my heart, I'm a musician, I'm a bass player, and I've got one of my top three inspirations of bass playing when I started at 11 years old on. And this is a dream come true, man. You might know him from Mr. Big, from the David Lee Roth solo band, from Sons of Apollo, from Winery Dogs, to anything and everything that he's been involved with in between as well. Welcome to the show, the bass master, Billy Sheehan. How you doing, brother?
I'm very good. Thanks very much. Thanks for having me on. It's Sheehan,
Dude,
by
thanks
the way.
again. What's that?
It's Sheehan, not Sheehan.
Sheehan. I know, man. It's okay. It's
It's
crazy.
it's
So I'm glad.
that's just it's like Ed McMahon with Ed McMahon. Oh,
Right.
it's an Irish thing, but thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, man. You are an inspiration to me and millions of other bass players around the world.
Well,
There's
that's
there's
very kind.
guys that taught me like groove. I learned from like Geezer Butler and Steve Harris, but then the solo techniques and tapping and the crazy stuff that I was like, I didn't even know you could do that on bass, or you were supposed to do that. I learned those unorthodox tricks from you, man. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, any stringed instrument that's got a neck and strings on it. There's still a lot of probably still a lot of things undiscovered. But the it's an open field there for whatever you want to do on it. And on bass, most of the time you're just pounding away, locked in with the drums. But once in a while, I played in clubs back in the early days, and we would do 3 and 4 sets a night. And by the end, the last set, it was a Friday or Saturday, it'd be crazy. But sometimes on a Monday night, the last set would be too many people there. So we'd fool around and I would go off and take some crazy solo thing. But it started to become a thing and people would ask for it. So I started regularly doing a little solo piece. But 99% of what I did was playing songs uh, constantly. So,
Yeah, and the more you do it, the more you just, like I play in like a cover tribute band nowadays. I've been in countless original bands in the past, and you kind of get to where the song almost after a while gets boring. So you kind of not boring in a bad way, but you come up with new ways to always keep it interesting for yourself.
yeah, exactly. We used to play Stealin' by Uriah Heep, which you play a D note for a long time. And after a while, I play it like that and play it,
Hmm.
upside, just something to break the monotony. So sometimes that monotony is a good thing because it forces you to dig deep and find something good. But we played a million cover songs. So, when I sit down with a guitar and somebody opens a bottle of wine, I can go through. I've played for hours, just playing and singing songs by every band you could imagine. It's so funny. So it's great. That's the best thing that happened to me is I played in a cover band, and most every
Hmm.
band starts as a cover band. Almost everybody, Van Halen, AC/DC, the Beatles, everybody started playing somebody else's songs, got up on stage, started to figure it out, and eventually wrote their own, and there they were. But it all starts with that. It did for me, and I'm very grateful to have gone through that.
That allows you to play with like the countless artists that you've played with too, to be that versatile. Because with learning covers, especially if you're learning 30 to 50 songs by all these other bands, you got
Yeah.
to get them down in one way or another. So then, in a way, like if you only learn playing your own stuff in the beginning, that can be like a hindrance after a while, in a way.
Yeah, it can be. There's no right or wrong on it. But I've sat down with guys that didn't know any cover songs, and you can't really do too much. Let's jam an
Hmm.
A. Okay.
Right.
Uh, all right, there. I'll hold an A note. You go for it, and I'll go get another glass of whatever. But guys that know songs, we played Crosby, Stills and Nash, Three Dog Night, Grand Funk Railroad, Neil Young, uh, a million, everything by Hendrix, everything by the Beatles, everything by the Stones, everything by Led Zeppelin, all those songs. You knew them all. Then after a while, you get used to picking things up by ear because I don't read it all. And you can just kind of hear a couple of notes and figure out what to do there. But that again all comes from being in a cover band. And
Hmm.
I still people ask me, what's your advice for young players? And I always say three things: get in a band with songs, get in a band with songs that you sing. Singing is so important. People come up to me, hey, I found this amazing guitar player. He's the greatest guitarist you'll ever hear. Oh, really? Tell me more. Yeah, well, he's really fantastic. He plays this amazing thing. It's so cool and it's great and awesome. I go, does he sing? No, I'm good.
Hmm. Because a
It-
singer can help with writing not just cool riffs, but like melodies and stuff. They understand it vocal, like what can match with the vocals and guitar, the whole picture, you know?
Yeah, and singing and playing is tough. For bass is harder than guitar. I can strum
Yes,
guitar and
sir.
sing all day. Playing a bass thing line while you're singing. I mean, there are some grandmasters at it, of course, we all know, but nevertheless, it's a good thing to practice. And then even if you're not singing lead, just getting harmonies because vocals, when they have all the TV shows of The Voice and the American Idol, it's
Hmm.
pretty rare for somebody that doesn't sing to be on there. It's usually about vocals all the time, and so
Hmm.
we sang tons of harmony stuff. We did a "Carry On Wayward Son" by Kansas with all the harmony,
Nice.
all the Three Dog Night stuff. Great band. So
Hmm.
it was good training.
We just lost Chuck, like what, 6, 7 months ago, I believe. It was this last year, Chuck Negron. We lost him from Three
Yeah,
Dog Night. Yeah.
yeah. I think Corey Wells. He was from Buffalo. I didn't know him. Nobody knew that I knew know him. He left Buffalo early on, but he was originally from there. And
Interesting.
yeah, what a great band. And they never wrote a song.
Really? Yeah.
Never, not
So, like,
one
what do you mean? Like, so
song.
Three Dog Night, their songs are other people's songs, every song?
Every song. Frank
Crazy. That's
Sinatra.
crazy.
Frank Sinatra never wrote a song.
Yep. Yep. Elvis, too, you know. Well,
Yeah, I
maybe
don't think
Elvis
Elvis
probably
did either.
dabbled in some writing, but majority of everything is other people's catalog.
Yeah, but it's
Dude,
cool to
speaking of
hear what the
catalogs,
say
go
again.
ahead. No, no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, it's cool to hear their version of thing. If you ever hear
Yes.
the song "One is the Loneliest Number," the
Hmm.
original version is by Nilsson, and it's dark and kind of distant and dark, and theirs is like up and exciting. And yeah, they made a lot of songwriters successful because they would make hits out of songs that they didn't write.
That's kind of like the Van Halen approach, which can kind of segue us in a little bit, but like the whole "You Really Got Me" or whatever, not dance the night away, but dancing in the streets or any Van
Yeah,
Halen cover, they always kind of did their own thing with it. So you could tell that
yeah,
the original song was still there, but it was like a new breath of fresh air.
exactly. And so I've got a great collection of songs called "You Heard It Here First." It's the original version of all kinds of songs that you had no idea were written by somebody else. I even think uh, the Folsom Prison Blues, so that I hear the train a coming, it's coming around. I think that was written by somebody else, and they do the original version, and
Interesting.
some really famous songs, but it wasn't the original artist that did it.
Hmm. It's crazy, man. Like, and it sometimes it just takes that new invention to put a spin on things. And like I said, like Van Halen, Roth, he would do his
Well, they
own
were a
crazy
cover
shit on.
band.
Yeah,
They were a
exactly. But it
cover
was
band.
fun to
I,
take a
I,
cover and then make it your own style completely instead of just playing it for a party or something like that.
yeah,
But did you?
sometimes. Well, sometimes
I know
people
you
want
with
to hear the song as recognizable version. So
bingo.
that was the challenge in a copy band many times is to nail it right on to play it
Mhm.
exactly the way it is because that's what'll get them out on the dance floor. And this is
That's
the
what
old
gets
days
my
when
band paid is make sure the harmonies are spot on Foreigner and
yeah,
Styx and REO and all the shit we do. And it's like make sure those harmonies are right, make sure those solos are right. People want that.
we're gonna do the jazz experimental jazz improvisational version of "It's Cold as Ice."
Is that before or after the puppet show? Kidding. Spinal Tap joke.
All right.
Hey, well, hey, dude. So let's get into like, okay, you and Steve Vai. Like, how did that? Did you guys know each other before Roth?
Yeah,
So
we're
you
on the
guys have
same
been
label.
awesome, awesome. So
No,
then, did
I
you
didn't
guys
have
just
much
one
to
day
do
get
it.
a phone call, or how'd that work?
I contacted him at one point to work together before any of the Dave stuff came around. And then when Dave needed a guitar player, I told him about Steve, and Steve got the gig. So there you have it. That was really cool. And then Steve and I were given the task to go find a drummer. We went and found Greg, and that was the. And then we needed a keyboard player, so I was uh, had a great relationship with Yamaha, and I knew they sold a lot of keyboards. So I called him. I got, you got a Yamaha keyboard player that can really sing and play. He goes, oh yeah, Brett Tuggle. And Brett Tuggle was just the greatest. So I got him the gig with David Lee Roth too. I remember his audition. He just killed it. And we lost him a few years ago, sadly. But what a great, great guy and supreme talent. And that was that. We did that song, but that was about 160 years ago. So
Mhm.
that's a long time ago. This summer is 40 years. That was
That's
40 years ago
crazy.
since that record
Yeah.
came out. So,
Eat 'em and smile, man.
but
It's
people
still
are
a
still
freaking
asking me about it.
masterpiece. Didn't you guys, was it a few years ago? Weren't you guys gonna do like a reunion like lineup? It was all you got. Didn't something funky happen with that?
Oh man, yeah, yeah. It's funny. I must have answered this question on 1,000 interviews, 1,000 easily. And it's just funny to me that the information can be, no matter how many times you say it, it's
Mhm.
still. I guess you still have to tell the story again. Yeah, we played. We were gonna get together and do me, Steve, and Greg, and use the singer from Steel Panther, and then
Perfect choice.
somebody got in touch with Dave, and he said he'd like to come down. We did. It was too crowded, so the fire department shut it down, and that was it. But
That's
I
crazy.
posted about it and posted about it and posted about it. And the guys who put the thing on posted about it. Steve posted about it. Greg posted about it. We all posted about it. There was about 140 articles came out about it. And now there's 141 posts about it.
Well, it's just crazy because, like I said, well, like you said, 40 years later, and like people still love that album. And I know, like, some of us, okay, it feels like
Yeah, I'm
100 years
glad of
ago,
that.
but it's crazy that just the trajectory it kind of like sent you on. Because, man, I don't think there's a lineup that you've ever played in that's not just a complete badass on every instrument around you. It's
Well,
going
that's
from that
very
to
kind of you to
starting
say.
Mr. Big. You
Yes,
started Mr. Big, correct?
yes, sir. Yeah, that was. I will be forever supremely grateful for that whole experience, and it is true. That's what launched everything for me, really. I mean, Talus did good. We were
Mhm.
playing around. We had finally gotten just signed, and signed with an agency as well, booking agency. So that was all good. But the whole Eat 'em a Smile experience was everything. That I owe Dave a great debt always, and will never ever forget that. But yeah, so yeah, I went on to start Mr. Big. I knew everybody in it for the most part, except for the singer. But the singer had a connection to a guy named Herbie Herbert, who was a manager, and
Mhm.
he's one of the founding fathers of the music business. He's the guy who said, "Why don't we sell T-shirts at the show with the band's name on it?" And merch
Genius.
was born. Because I went to see Hendrix and there was nothing you could buy. I would see a lot of bands. I would see the Who with Keith Moon original lineup. There was nothing to buy there. You couldn't buy anything. And so Herbie, being such an important and powerful man, he really is the guy who made Mr. Big happen, business wise. I mean, we delivered the goods, songs and sound and performance live, but he opened all the doors for us. So that was pretty great. And
What a
then
voice, Eric Martin, man. What a voice.
yeah, yeah, he had a great voice, uh, and yeah, we had a really fantastic run. Again, something to be supremely thankful for. We're on the Tonight Show twice, and the first time we just played, and the second time they came into the dressing room. It was Jay Leno had it. Then he goes, Jay wants to talk with you guys on the couch. Who's going to sit in chair number one? And everybody looked at me because I would always do a lot of the talking for the band, and so I sat. I was on Tonight Show and sat in chair number one. That was my mom. No matter what, hey mom, we got our record went platinum. That's nice. Mom, we got a number one single. Oh, that's nice. Mom, we're going on tour with. No, that's good. Mom, I'm going to be on the Tonight Show. What? You're kidding? So some people's metric on what's important or not. The Tonight Show is usually up at the top of the list. So that was a pretty cool thing.
That's funny, man. It is kind of funny. It's like, and of course, it'd be a parent, because it's like your parents, most of the time they're
Uh,
like, well, I don't know about being a musician, and then there's that one thing to where they're finally like, okay, I kind of get it now. So yeah, that's cool. Your mom finally came around then.
Yeah, yeah, it was cool. And for me, I grew up watching. I'm older, so I saw the Tonight Show from its very beginning with Jack Parr, or no, Steve Allen, and then Jack Parr, and then some unknown guy, Johnny Carson, got it, and it was his whole career, and then Jay Leno uh, had it when we went on. When we were on the first time. Johnny still had the show,
Oh,
but Jay was guest host, so I didn't get a chance to meet him, unfortunately. But that would have been.
oh, that's
But
crazy.
for me and my generation, that was everybody watched the Tonight Show every night. So, but the next day, whatever the conversation was, it was about something that happened on Tonight Show, and that was when there was only three channels, so you didn't really have any choice to go anywhere else.
Hmm.
That was a interesting time in society.
Some of the best Tonight Show moments to me are like with the Carson era is with Rodney Dangerfield and just watching Carson
Oh,
just in
oh yeah.
stitches and he is dying, like trying to keep up with Rodney. Rodney Recipe is one of the best comedic
Brilliant,
writers ever.
just brilliant. Yeah.
So when you said you played on there twice, did they make you guys play to a track? Like, I mean, like a pre-recorded track, or did they actually let you play?
No, but the first time we played on Letterman, he had Paul Schaefer play, and some of the guys in the band were going to play with us because they weren't sure if we could actually play or not. They didn't know us. So,
Uh-huh.
and then finally we got halfway through, and Paul goes, Paul Schaefer, you guys are good. You're on your own. Go ahead and play. But I guess, and that was surprising to us. So apparently, some guests come on, and the band maybe learns their song like during the day or something like that, just to make sure to back them up if they can't pull it off live. Because sometimes some people can't. It
Hmm.
happens that people get up in front of a live mic, and plus you're on national television. If you're the nervous type, you can have a breakdown right in front of the camera. So having the
Hmm.
band there to back you up a little bit is probably a good idea. But fortunately, we didn't need it, and we'd been through stuff like that before. So, but they were very kind to us. David Letterman was great, and Paul Schaefer. He just played on a record that I played on by for Peter Criss from Kiss. We both played on
Awesome.
his record. I guess Peter, being a New Yorker, he knew Paul Schaefer pretty well, so he was on there, and it was pretty cool.
Paul's
So
a
that,
character.
yeah,
Paul
very cool.
Shaver, he's a character for
Oh,
sure.
supreme talent too. He's great. He can do
Hmm.
anything.
So, Mr. Big, didn't you guys do like reunion shows over in Japan and stuff like that? I believe a couple of years back, or somewhere recent in the timeline.
We
Didn't you
did
guys get back
our
together?
farewell tour. Uh, Ended last year,
Okay.
and we did the whole world. We played everywhere: South America, North America, Europe, Asia, and Japan. So we played, and that was our last tour. So
Man.
that ended the band, and that was that. But we had a good time. It was great. We did well, we actually did our final shows in the beginning in Japan. We played India first, and then we played in
Mm.
Japan, sold out Budokan shows, and then we did the whole rest of the world. But at the end, Japan said, "Hey, wait a minute, we want you to come back for one more." So we came back for one more run in Japan, which was just great. They've been so kind to us, and
Hmm.
really, we've had excellent success everywhere. But Japan was special because they were the first to really take to the band, and we just had a great relationship with all the business people there, all the record company people there, all the radio and their versions of MTV and whatever, and the fans were just so spectacular to us. So, pardon me,
Very fun.
it was just what an experience to go to that culture, which is so different. It's like
Hmm.
being on another planet sometimes, and I urge anybody, if you want to travel and find some place that's exotic and insane, but safe and beautiful, and the food is great, and the people are so kind, and Japan is the place to go. It's amazing.
It's one of my bucket list destinations for me and my wife forever. It's like because I do want to go experience like downtown Tokyo just for the fun craziness of it, but then
Yeah,
I want to go check out like Kyoto and go see all the
it's
beautiful
great.
landscapes of things. And yeah,
Yeah,
people, it's like Japan's keeping the rock scene alive, even during like the 90s when hair metal, the transition happened to grunge and things like that.
yeah.
The
We
Japanese, man, and just all Asians in general, they still love rock and roll. They're keeping it alive in a weird way.
we outsold Pearl Jam 40 to 1 in Japan.
Mm. Yeah.
That was the actual statistic. Because the Japanese, now I love Pearl Jam, and but they didn't get the grunge thing. Why are you
Hmm.
dressing in old clothes and stuff? What happened? What's wrong? So it wasn't a thing in Japan like it was in the USA and to some degree in Europe. So we're thankful to that. It kept us very much alive, and it was still a lot of great success. We just did the 30-year anniversary of the Hey Man record on vinyl. I don't think it was ever released on vinyl because at that time was all CDs and maybe
Hmm.
MP3s. Uh, and that came out. I had a lot of Japanese fans, holding the record and sending me the photos of themselves on social media. Really cool. I'll
That's
be
so
over there
cool.
again soon, I'm sure. We've still got so many great friends there, and I'm a Yamaha guy from
Hmm.
about 1980. Well, actually, it started in 1984. Uh, I went to No, it must have been 85. I went to the NAMM show in 1985, which is in January, and met with the Yamaha people, and they wanted to make a bass for me and have me endorse their products. So I said yes, and they didn't know, but by that summer of '85, the whole Roth thing blew up, and
Hmm.
my first version Yamaha is the pink one right here
Hmm.
on the
I love
thing.
it.
That's the 30-year anniversary Attitude, uh,
Was the pink
and
one
then
from Going Crazy? Was that the one you
yeah,
had on that video? Yeah.
yeah, and my original P bass is there too.
I
And then we
love it. I'm a
used
P bass
we
guy through and through, man. I love that old one.
Yeah, I use that. We use that as a template for the Attitude bass, even so
Hmm.
much as laying the body of the P bass down on a copier to get the exact same position for that volume knob. So,
Oh,
because I'm
nice.
just used to always being able to grab that volume knob, and if they move it somewhere, it seems stupid, but I've been doing the same thing for decades. You can't, you just reach down and feel it,
Yeah.
so they did that, and they also took that Telecaster neck, which I had put on my bass because I saw a photo of Tim Bogart with a P bass that had a Telecaster neck. I thought, turns out Fender just did a different headstock for him.
Mm.
But so I went out and I got a Tele bass, took the neck off it, put it on my P bass, a 1968 Tele neck, and they're known for being big and fat, big
Hmm.
giant chunk of wood. And so these necks are modeled after that, the dimensions of that bass neck. And so that was a good thing for me because people worry about sustain by where the strings are connected here and the composition of the body, but they're also connected up here at the
Hmm.
neck. So that big fat neck is just a really great feel to it.
Well, and you brought up a good point about like just is the small details like your volume knob and things like that where you get used to just, like a muscle memory thing. So if you're playing live, you want to be able to like not have to think about something while you're doing it, just be able to
Exactly.
do it on the fly and not have to rely or think too much or nothing. So I mean that makes sense. And then you've
That's
also
exactly right. Yeah,
I believe it was one of your instructional DVDs that I used to have. I've still got it in my storage unit, but in the beginning, you're kind of like explaining like compressor and then why you keep like your guitar strap where you do, because correct me if I'm wrong, you say it's at the same length as when you're sitting or standing, correct? So that way it's the
yep,
same feeling no matter how
it's
you
right here.
practice. And it's,
And when I
yeah.
stand up, it's right there.
Hmm. And that's a genius thing
And
a lot of people don't think about.
of all the things I've written about and talked about and shown technique wise, left hand, right hand, songwriting, bass line, I've gotten more response from people for the strap length
Hmm.
from anything else. Is this really true? Because a lot of rock guys use have the bass really low, and they're practicing like this. They stand up and play, and nothing's working. Yeah, because the bass
Hmm.
is 10 inches lower than where you're used to it from. It looks better. It's probably cooler, and if it's no big deal, and it's different for everybody too. Some people that none of those things would be a factor. And that I was just got a creature of habit, and I was used to that volume knob there. Other people, they can quickly adapt to a new thing, no problem. I might be able to, but I'd rather put my attention on something else and my performance and remembering the songs and remembering the lyrics rather than try to, where was that volume control again? So, yeah, it can be different for a lot of people, but I've been with Yamaha now I think I might be one of their not oldest, longest running endorsers that they've ever had. So I had to find out that. But they've been great to me, and that's a Japanese company. And man, you can go into their factory where they make stuff, and you could serve a meal on the floor. It's so clean. It is
Dude,
just
they're a
incredible.
superior company that everybody just like, I don't, it's like almost one of those brands where you hear about them and then you never really think about it. And then you pick one up and you play and you're like, oh, oh, I get this now. Like
Yeah,
your
yeah,
Yamaha and the Nathan East Yamaha are two dream bases of mine because they're just like perfectly built. I've played a couple
yeah. They're
models of
great.
your Attitude bass and I played one Nathan East 5 string one time and I was like, oh, wow, Yamaha's on another level.
Yeah, they're rock solid, and they don't kid around. They're very serious about quality control. And they were kind enough to send me one of the John Patitucci 6 string basses. I don't
Ooh,
play a 6 string. I have one of the original ones I used on the song "Just Take My Heart."
great
Uh,
song.
it's on the wall. You can't see it from there, but it's still got. I didn't even change the strings. It's still the same strings from that song. But the John Patitucci bass is a work of art. It's just unreal, and it's different from what I do. So I wanted to
Mhm.
get it just to force myself to adapt to something completely different. Then when I come back to my bass, I've got a couple of new skills, hopefully. And it was a funny thing because I took a photo of it uh, and posted it because I was so excited about it. And I had played for a long time. And when you push your finger down hard on the string, you get a little crease in there because
Yeah.
my hands are so callous. My hands are so callous. When I try to type on my phone, I got to type every word 10 times because the callus lands differently than a regular. So
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
oh God, it drives me out of my mind. So I posted a photo of me playing that bass and my hands, like from this view of the camera. And when people say, "Yeah, well, the bass community," and I go, "Hold on, there's no bass community. We got a bunch of the most. I got the most hateful comments you could possibly imagine. I was in total shock, and people are saying, trying to explain to me how to set the action on the bass. I go, bro, I
Oh
started
God.
playing before you were born, and the action was perfect, absolutely
Hmm.
flawless. It was even in tune coming out of the case. I never even had to tune it. It was just great. And oh, there's a crack in the bass. And there's no crack in the bass. That's a piece of veneer. And the people went berserk. I took the post down. I had to
Everybody's
block
an
about
internet expert.
no, I had to block about 40 people. It was just that
Jeez.
hateful. So the little crease in my hand, I go, yeah, drink some water, bro. You're dehydrated. Any bass player
Oh
that's got
man.
callus is insane. So I've stopped dealing with a lot of things like that, and I post my cats and food. But I love posting bass stuff. I'm gonna start doing it again. But I
Hmm.
did a big cull recently of a lot of people that were just saying some very terrible things. So they're gone now. So everyone rest
You
assured.
gotta shed some negativity sometimes, get rid of it, And that's how I found you, man. It's like, that's what's really cool about social media in some ways. I
True.
get it does probably suck in other ways for somebody like at your status, but it's cool that like fans like me and others can actually interact with the
Yeah,
people
I
we
love
grew up
that.
listening to and stuff, So
So
it's a
great.
double-edged sword. It really is.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, but the edge that's shitty is not much of an edge. It actually is a very small amount of people that do that, and I find old friends from school or people I met on tour years ago, and people get in touch with me from all over, and I answer everything. Sometimes I don't answer. I just got to click a heart or a like or a thumbs up
Mhm.
or something like that. But I read everything myself. A lot of people are absolutely convinced it couldn't possibly be me, and they will argue with me back and forth. Okay, if you don't believe it, then maybe go somewhere else if you want to. But it's a funny thing. But I really do think it's overwhelmingly positive because I've just made so many great friends online and made great connections with wonderful people on tour. People will like we usually have to do a paid meet and greet, which I
Mhm.
hate doing. But there's a
Yeah.
lot, a lot, a lot of bills to pay on tour, and it's just you have to maximize as much income as you can. So people will write to me and say, "Hey, I want to come say hi, but I can't afford the meet and greet." And I would say, "Wait, after the show, I will come out. I'll be by the bus. Come on over, bring your stuff. I'll sign it. We'll take photos." So I go out, and sometimes like 30 or 40 people hanging out by the tour bus, and we sit around and talk and hang out and take photos and all kinds of stuff. Just great, wonderful people.
That's what's so cool about it, man. Is like just interacting with the fans, and people have kind of forgotten how to do that. And even decades ago, people were still they get too big for their britches, kind of thing. They get famous, and
Yeah,
then they just
yeah,
stop forgetting who made them famous. You know?
exactly. Everything I own under the sun, moon, and stars came from a fan buying a shirt or a ticket or a download or CD. Everything I have comes from that. And I never forget that. And in the early days in clubs, a lot of clubs didn't have a dressing room. So you get done and then got to go on a break. And this one place in West Seneca called the Barrelhead, the stage was about this high. So I would just step off the stage in front, and there wasn't a barricade or a gap in between. It was just a whole room full of people and the band on the stage. I step off and go sit at somebody's table, and we talk and hang out and have a few drinks and look up at the clock and, oh, it's time to go. Okay, go up and do another set, come down and repeat. So we never had the separation between us and the audience. We were always up. They were our friends and we were their friends. So that was another thing that I didn't realize until later years that set the tone for how you deal with an audience. They're your friends. They're there to see you. They paid to come in and see you. That's fantastic. So I've always been in a band where we went way out of the way and to do whatever we could for anybody, you know.
Hmm.
And I'll get emails from somebody, one recently, saying it was back in 1974. We played some little club. I remember the Shangri-La, I think, in Scio, New York, some way out, way out. And yeah, I brought you my bass, and you showed me how to adjust the truss rod, and gave me a set of your strings, uh, and I didn't even remember it, but it kind of shows how long that's been going on and how important it was to me to make friends with the people that are coming out to see us play, and I still do that a lot all the time, and it's really a great thing. I've
That's
had,
the cool part about the fans, man. It's like the old Ingve song, "You don't remember, I'll never forget." Like you meet millions of people in your lifetime,
yeah,
but man, those good interactions stick with those people, and it gives them a story decades later that they can still tell to their
how
friends,
cool.
to their kids, to whoever.
And
It's
And I'm sure you're the same as I. I'm like that too. With when I meet somebody that is, that did something for me
Mhm.
inspirationally. I was in a at a trade show, a NAMM show, it's called, where all the companies that build instruments and amps get together at a big convention to sell to music stores, and a lot of musicians go there. It's become a big thing now. Over a lot of people, a lot of fans go there too. And I'm in a circle of guys, and we're all talking, and it was I think they're near the Rickenbacker booth. And I said, man, Rickenbacker 12 string, that was one of my biggest inspirations ever. I just love that sound, and I loved the Birds, Roger McGinn.
Mm.
I think it was Jim McGinn, and then became Roger McGinn later. Jim McGinn, he was the most incredible thing. That's the first single I ever bought, and it was so inspirational to me. And one guy looks at me and goes, why don't you say hi to him? He's standing next to you.
Oh, no way.
I'm so sorry I didn't recognize you, bro. And I did, and so I met. It was a sweet, wonderful guy, and it was the first single I ever bought. That wine of those 12 string. Yamaha made me a whole bunch of baritone 12 strings, which are tuned
Ooh,
5 frets lower, B, E A D G F sharp B,
nice. Yeah.
and I think or no, yeah, F
I think
sharp
that
B.
sounds right. Yeah,
It's
actually, yeah.
it's guitar tuning, not bass tuning. And we put Rickenbacker pickups on one of them just to get that bird sound. And there's a
Nice
compressor now.
jangly sound. Yeah.
There's a compressor called the Jangle Box, and
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
in the jingle jangle morning I'll come following you. And so I got that on it too. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, it happens to. I'm sure it happens to you as well. You meet people that just did something for you. Uh,
Mhm.
I was in LA one time, and I was a acquaintance of Lita Ford, a dear friend of mine, wonderful lady, and she was in the studio, invited me to come on down, to say hi. So I drove over, and I think they surprised me with it, but Billy Gibbons was there, and I was the
Nice.
biggest ZZ Top fan ever. I mean, we played like 10 ZZ Top songs back in the cover days, and I just loved him and his tone. I saw Billy Gibbons with Alice Cooper in I think it was 1974, and I saw Billy Gibbons bending over. and then hit the fretboard. And I thought, what? And we looked at each other like, holy cow! He put his finger on the neck, and this is 74. Van Halen
Yeah, yeah.
wasn't even there, and that's where I got hammer-ons from. So I'd always say in every interview, they say, "Oh, so you Ed Van Halen must have been Ed is a king, but I got it from Billy Gibbons." Oh, but Van Halen, no, it was Billy Gibbons. He was the guy who did it. No, I first saw him. I tell him that story. So we're there talking, and Lita was cutting some vocals, and we were in the other room having a coffee, and we're having an amazing conversation. He's just a so fascinating guy. He knows about everything. It's so cool. So it's time to go, and I said, "Oh man, I'm so glad I got a chance to meet you, and what an inspiration you've been." He goes, "Hold on a second," and he reaches in his bag and he pulls out an eight. I'm looking at it now because it's on my wall. 8 by 10 of him framed, signed to me. I guess he must have known I was going to be there. I go, man, what? I'm totally overwhelmed. It's on my wall here now still, and I go,
That's awesome.
What's this for? He goes, because I always talk about him in the interviews. He goes, I read what you've been saying about me in the interviews. He goes, keep it up.
Dude, that's awesome. Billy seems so cool. And it sucks we lost Dusty. Dusty seemed cool as hell too, but man,
Oh, so great.
it's just
I
some of
love
these
that man.
inspirations. Like,
Like,
and also like you as a musician, the guys that you surrounded yourself seem like some of the best musicians, like the humblest, nicest people on the planet, even though they're absolute, you know, ungodly gifts of music talent. But you got, Sons of Apollo, you got Jeff Scott Soto, you got Derek Sherinian, Bumblefoot, yourself, Mike Portnoy. Like every one of those dudes, if you listen to them in interviews, they seem like they almost forget they're rock stars. Like they're the nicest people on the damn planet, So it really shows to the fans.
when you're on tour and you're together with the same bunch of guys for a long time, Mother Nature tends to weed out the people that are impossible to deal with. So that's good. So yeah, most everybody I've played with has been wonderful, uh, and I have a supreme high regard for all of them. Absolutely, all the everybody from Dave, from Mr. Big, from every band I've been in. I've been lucky to play
Mhm.
with great people that are fine, upstanding, and we always have a blast on the bus. And I haven't even had an aspirin since 1971. I never tried cocaine. I smoked dope in high school a little bit. That was it. So I'm a complete non-drugger. We have some drinks for sure, but I'm not
Mhm.
a drugger. And I've never been around, I've never had a situation in a band where we had any problems with intoxicants.
Yeah.
Nobody was overboard and nobody lost their sensibilities. We had a
No
damn
loose
good time.
cannons. Yeah.
We had a great time, but we had no problems with it. I'm very happy to say.
Well, man, and like I said, Sons of Apollo is just like this just incredible lineup of just, I mean, it's like progressive meets melodic, it's all the above. And then you've got on the other side, you're still doing Winery Dogs and Richie Kotzen, man. Like, talk about a guy that this is a compliment, but I'm just saying, like, the first time heard him sing, I didn't know what he looked like. So he's got this like little bit of a blend of Chris Cornell meets like the big black lady in the church choir, where you're like, how are you hitting those notes? And then you see it's this skinny white dude, and you're like, where is this coming from? Like just like Eric Martin with Mr. Big, this giant voice out of this kind of little guy. Like, man, like it just seems like you have just a knack for picking the best of the best to work with. Tell me about Winery Dogs, man. How did that start?
Uh, well, Mike and I were gonna wanted to do a band together. So initially, we talked with John Sykes, but we're always hesitant to say
Oh man.
that because people say, "Oh, so John Sykes was in Winery Dogs?" No, he was not ever in Winery Dogs. We did a couple demos with him. It didn't work out at all. I he did not like me one tiny bit. He fucking
Really?
hated. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. And I've just when I went over to his house to do the demos, I sat there and played root note. Don't do anything else. Go to the next note. This is a root note.
Uh-huh.
Don't move. Don't do anything. The next note. And I purposely didn't do anything other than the root note for him, and he still hated it. But yeah, it was sad. He seemed like a nice guy and a great player, but I could see difficulty right away. And
Mhm.
he had said, well, we should take like about 3 months and get guitar tones And we said, what? We were expecting to do the record in a week,
Mhm.
3 months to get tones. Jesus. So it was just difficult from the beginning. And no offense to him at all, because he got a lot of great fans, and deservedly so.
Mhm.
Certainly an icon in rock, no doubt. Absolute greatness. I'm not, don't want to sully his character in any way, shape, or form. But I knew it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, not
So
everybody works together.
so we went to we were talking with Eddie Trunk, and he goes, "Where'd you get Richie Costin?" Now Richie had played in Mr. Big. Paul Gilbert quit for a while, and
Yes,
Richie came
I
in,
forgot about that. Yeah.
and so Richie. So we went to him, and I think the first day we all got together at Richie's house, we were laying tracks down, and we had that record done in no time, and
Yeah.
it got mixed super quick. Jay Rustin did an amazing job mixing it, and we were out on tour in no time. Versus 3 months to get guitar tones. So we were right on it, and it was a great run. It was really cool. We had a good time. I love playing. My main early years were all three piece: guitar, bass, drums. Everybody
Hmm.
sings, and
That's my favorite lineup ever. Is a three-piece
yeah,
lineup. Everybody sings. Yep.
Grand Funk,
King's
ZZ
X
Top,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
a lot of great bands like that. Beck, Bogart, and Appice. So it worked out really well. Uh, and that and Mr. Big ended around the same time. So I got a chance to come home and spend a lot of time in this room.
Hmm.
When the pandemic came, we started doing tracks for people just out of nowhere. People would just write me out of nowhere. Say, hey, I got this song. Can you play bass? I said, oh, sure. So they send the files over, email them to me.
Hmm.
My engineer Scott and I in here, we got a full setup with uh, a bunch of different bass rigs and stuff like that. So we'd lay bass down for people. And then another one would come in, and then another, and then a whole record, then another record, and then 4 songs by this guy and 5 songs by that guy. As of now, we're over 600 tracks we've done here since the pandemic.
Wow.
Some pros, some name pro guys. Uh,
Hmm.
I just did a thing with Bootsy Collins. I did the Peter
Damn.
Criss thing. I did there's a band called the Rods out of New York. Carl Kennedy, the drummer, really great. Did a bunch of tracks for him recently. A lot of folks, a lot of individual players, and it was really a great way to understand. At one point I had to tell people I got to hear the song first because a couple of times I said yes and I got the song, and it was just insanely
Yeah.
complicated. Every measure is different from every other measure in the whole song. You know,
Hmm.
uh, and so I'd say so I got to charge a little more because it takes me a long time to learn the song because I don't read music. I got to learn everything by ear. And so we charge a little bit more for the people that had the complicated prog uh, improvisational things. But it was cool. Cool. We had a really great time. So having been off now for a little while, we've done a whole bunch now recently, and it's a really cool thing to get a track with no bass, and we play it. And I look at my engineer, and he looks at me, and he goes, and we go, what? How does this even work? It's not making any sense. I go, okay, so listen down. Okay, let me try this. And not because it's me or my bass playing, but when you properly put a bass into a track, suddenly, and it comes together.
You
Because now
betcha.
you're locking in with the drums. Your notes are enhancing the melody and the chord
Mhm.
changes and hooking them up with the drums, and the whole thing comes together as a unit. And at the end of the day, we're going, man, this song is fantastic. It's working great. Again, not because of me and my bass playing, but just bass in general. It was a great lesson to learn. I always knew it and said it, but to see it in action so many times in front of us, where you take bass, do it properly, I hope, as best I can, and now it becomes a final actual piece of music. Pretty cool. It's a pretty
Well, during the
interesting.
pandemic, I mean, during the dark times, whatever what I call it, conspiracies and nonsense aside, that to me was like one of the best parts about it was like you and a bunch of other musicians, the guys from Steel Panther, Satchel and them, like tons of people, Kevin Martin from Candlebox, all these guys were just doing these Zoom videos with everybody
Yeah.
and recording separate tracks and then putting these videos out. And like one guy's in New Hampshire, one's in Florida, one's in Anchorage, Alaska. And meanwhile, they're all on the same screen playing. Like, look up Kevin Martin from Candlebox doing "Turn Me Loose" by Loverboy, and you're like, holy shit, that's awesome, you know. But you would have never
Cool.
seen that without the pan. You know, it's like this weird
Oh, it's
thing
a
that
good thing.
all these
Yeah.
musicians found a way to still play.
Yeah, that was the silver lining of that cloud for sure. And then we were, well, during that time, I was finishing off the final Talus record, 1985, with our singer who passed away, Phil Narrow. And he was in Toronto, and I was here in Nashville. And they had a program called Audio Movers. And in real, still don't know how it could possibly be, but in real time, where I'm hearing the track with Phil at the mic, and I'm on the talkback with the producer and Phil and myself, and they're in Toronto. And then we went FaceTime had a little bit of a delay in the FaceTime for actual talking back and forth. But the music came through on my full system exactly right. And Phil, God rest his soul, we didn't, we knew he had been sick, but we didn't know how bad it was. And he got up to that mic and knowing what he knew and delivered the goods like amazing. It was so incredible.
Nice.
Pissed me off the other day. I posted Crystal Clear. It was one song. And it's got a little bit of an almost reggae Police kind of feel to it, a little bit.
Ooh,
I didn't write the song. The song was written, I think, by Ralph Morman and Mitch Perry when Mitch was in Talus long ago. But it's a great song, and people love it. And some guy wrote Crystal Clear, Roxanne, LOL. And I almost wrote back, but I restrained myself because Phil, knowing that he was in big trouble with his health, stepped up to the mic and nailed that song. It brings tears to people's eyes. So when the guy mocked the song, I almost just let it go, let it go.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Start typing, delete it. Start typing, delete it. Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, Phil was such a wonderful guy and a great singer, and he just stepped up to the plate and knocked every one of those songs right out of the park, and passed away about a couple weeks after we were done. It was sadly,
Man.
just a great guy. But those are some of the adventures that we went through on the during the pandemic here in the little studio, and it's been a great opportunity for me to step up to the plate. I use that cliche word again, and play in a song that because I did like hardcore country, like deep, pedal steel,
Nice.
mandolin country, death metal, like the darkest you can imagine. Some jazz where I had to sit down and figure out what in the world I was going to play. Singer songwriter, straight up rock, experimental stuff, a lot of prog and a lot of crazy stuff, and it was really a helped my playing a lot to push my boundaries out. And when you play on a song, you really want to do your best. And I always tell people, I'll do my best for you, and it really is. We and we'll be playing along, and that's what I love about my engineer Scott. I'll go, how was that? He goes, I'll go, how was we'll do a chunk of a song. How was that? He goes, you're not really locked in. Okay, there we go again. So he would never like say, oh great. He would tell me if it wasn't exactly what we need, what we not, and exactly how it should be. He would tell me. So it forced me to really get into a headspace where I'm recording now. We're landing. I mean, most of the records I've done early on, we never had Pro Tools and a grid or a click track. You just played what you did. But it really helped my skills as a studio player. Very, very, very much so. Like I said, we're way over 600 tracks. The other day, I tried to get a sheet and go through my folder and write down every song we did by every guy, because some guys we've done 2, 3, 10, 12 songs with, and I got down to the bottom of the sheet of paper and realized I got to take a couple of weeks to actually do this correctly. I wasn't even close to getting a fraction of the amount of stuff we've done.
That
And
would be cool as like a little merch thing, like a little like almost like a thesaurus or something in a way. Like you got every, track that you did on and then put like the YouTube link or whatever to each one so that way people could
yeah,
actually follow and it's like a catalog.
yeah, I thought about contacting all the guys because a lot of times they want me to post the song on my site. I do once in a while if conditions are right, but it just kind of confuses the issue.
Hmm.
We hadn't had anyone dissatisfied with our track, but one gentleman who's a great player got pissed off at me because I didn't want to post because I had just finished the Winery Dogs, just finished Mr. Big. Everybody's wondering what I'm going to do next, and I didn't want to post me playing with another band because oh, that's Billy's new band. I'm not in the band. It's not
Hmm.
my band. I'm a side man. I got hired to do it. I didn't want to confuse, so he got upset about it, and we gave him his money back, and I think, or I'm not sure what happened. And the only other one we had to give their money back to out of 600, not bad, only two complaints. The guy sent me a Bruce Hornsby song, somebody playing piano and a girl singing. I don't know how well she knew the song even. There was it's a kind of a pitchy thing. No offense, maybe
Hmm.
she's a great singer, but and on a demo, you don't always try to, just kind of sing where the
Go with
location of the
emotions.
notes are,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I get the pitch right. And so we listened down. I'm not sure what to do with it. So I went to the original song and heard it. And even the original song had a pattern that wasn't really definitive for me. And I love Bruce Hornsby, but this
Was
one
it one of
just
his bigger songs or a little lesser known, or do
no.
you
I
remember
I,
which song it was?
I don't know. I'd never heard it before.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So some deep album track or something like that. When I heard the original, it's a pretty cool song.
Hmm.
I wish I would have heard the original first. But then
He's
again,
great. He was just on Rick Beato like a week or so ago, and it was
oh
interesting
right,
listening to him break down just his old songs. But yeah, continue.
yeah, I was at a Yamaha event where Bruce Hornsby alone, like about a big, huge hall in L.A., like a 3,000 seater, a big event, and Bruce Hornsby alone on stage with the piano, and I'm
Gorgeous.
sitting with Quincy Jones next to me on the right, and Phil Ramone on the left, and I'm in the middle. Quincy Jones, of course, Michael Jackson, Frank
Hmm.
Sinatra, the most important producers ever. Phil Ramone on the other side, Barbara Streisand is one of the most amazing producers ever. And Bruce Hornsby was on stage. And I remember we were all saying how great it is to watch this guy and how amazing he was as a player. So anyway, we got this Bruce Hornsby track. So I said, well, I'll just lay down a real heavy, big, fat bass. I even put a lower octave, uh, synth octave down lower to really get a
Yeah.
fat bottom. And
Double
and
it
we got
up.
we got done and brought it all together. And he goes, well, you're not soloing at all. And I can't. I don't want to solo on a Bruce Hornsby piece. What? It doesn't need or want a bass solo. So he got upset, and we gave him his money back, and that was that. So
Well, that's funny because, like,
that
man,
was our
like
only two failures.
that's a perfect like I don't know. Is we got a few more minutes left, but as we're coming to a close, like that's a perfect example of where you as a bass player, you've done this on thousands of recordings and all these different things and toured all over the world with one band or another. Like you get to where you understand what the song is. Like there's some guitar players or bass players or drummers or anybody, singers, whoever. They just don't feel it and they don't click with everybody, so they just do their own thing the whole time and they go too much or they whatever. So if you were to do crazy tapping bass solos over a Bruce Hornsby song, you know,
Yeah,
sorry for my verbiage, but that would have sounded retarded. But if you
yeah, I agree.
if you you know if you play to the song, but then you've got stuff like Addicted to That Rush or Elevate by Winery Dogs, where those are the time to do all the extra fancy bands, the cool stuff to where you're like, whoa, that's crazy, but
Well,
it fits the song regardless.
even with those, there's a time and a place for everything.
Bingo.
And like I said, in a three-piece band that I grew up in, uh, the bass was more active because we're wanting to spell out more chords for the guitar player. If he's
You're
soloing,
filling in.
what chord
Yes.
am I? What key and what chord am I soloing over? Well, let me spell it out with a bass line, and that's a very common thing. And the less personnel you have, bass lines tend to, but not always, can be a little bit more active because we're spelling
Hmm.
out more. And I remember the guitar player I played with back in the day. He went out to jam with some other band one night that was guitar, bass, and drums, he got up and he said it was weird playing because I'd go to solo and it sounded to be a hole big enough to drive a truck through, and he'd look around on stage, and I was so I tried to make even the sound of my bass with the two different tones mixed together helps
Hmm.
make up for the lack of a rhythm player or a keyboardist. Because back in the day, with three guys, if we made $100, that was $33 each. With a fourth guy, it's only $25 each. So we
Hmm.
kept it as a three piece. So I would do like for Carry On, Wayward Son. I could I play the keyboard stabs. I would
Yeah,
just
hit
do
those
extra
harmonics. Yep.
things, just to prevent having to hire another guy. Several times we got accused of having somebody behind the stage just playing. I go, no, go ahead. You want to look? There's nobody back there. So, but that's for a specialized thing, three piece. And I learned early on. My first band was a horn band, and we had
Oh,
11 guys, and you play exactly what you need to play and no more because there's a lot going on. We had three singers up front, four horns, guitar, bass, drums, keyboard, and that was my first performing band I ever had. So that taught me right away. There's a time and a place for everything, and when there's
lock
11
in.
guys,
Yeah.
when
Dude,
there's
I
11
started
guys,
in jazz band and big band and stuff in school and theory and modes and scales and all the paperwork and all the BS. And then 15 people, like you're talking about 11 people in a band, like there's a time and place to lock in, or then, hey, go Cliff Burton and click your wah pedal on and go crazy solo time, and it's like, you got to find that right little balance or else you're coming off, like you're just not grooving with the guys. Right. But
there's
man,
a
like
time and a place for everything.
you taught me a lot of things, whether inadvertently or whatever, because like just like compressor itself, like compressor is a huge influence on as a bass player, because if you want to be more active, especially if you're playing in say a three-piece band or maybe even a four-piece, if you want to go up and hit those higher notes, you need them to be the same volume. You don't need that drop off to happen, like you're kind of like talking about going to do a solo and the guitar player goes, hey, where's my low end? It's this, like there's just all kinds of things that, man, like you've been an inspiration to so many. And
Well, I'm glad to hear,
it's
bro.
cool that
Thanks.
you're still
Thanks
out there
very
doing
much.
it, man. It's so cool that you're doing this, just talking to fans and social media and doing podcasts and things. And
It really
dude,
is
I,
my
I
pleasure.
appreciate this so much.
It really is my pleasure. I love it. I love helping my fellow player. I do master classes here in Nashville uh, at a great little music store. I'll be doing them next month. I think they're already sold out now, though. We just heard today. And it's just me sitting down with another guy for a whole hour, and we videotape the whole session. And I'll start with them, and a couple ways to kind of open. Like some people are a little nervous sometimes. I say, "So when you pick up the bass, what's the first thing you do?" And they'll show me you sing, and I go, "That's cool. Okay, now that you're doing that, let me steer you a little bit, and you tell me whether or not you think this will help." And so I'll give them some advice about what they're doing, how to accomplish it a little easier, a little bit better, and bang. Uh, when I post about it, a lot of my participants comment, and I'm so happy to see that they say, "Man, this is the best thing I ever did. I learned so much and stuff like that." And I love that. That's I love being able to help my fellow players so much. That's why it's so disheartening when I talked about the comments I got on it when I posted that six string bass, because I'm just all about whatever we're all in this together. I'm no rock
Exactly,
star. I
man.
hate rock star. I hate that shit. Rock star. I'm just a player, and so is everybody else. So are you. So is probably a lot of people wishing your show. We're all in this together, and why
Yeah,
not
dude.
try to help each other out? And when people say I got to say some shitty stuff about somebody on the internet, I say, well, instead of doing that, just go away and find somebody you love and tell them how fabulous they are, rather than telling somebody else that you hate them and you hope they die. So try to
I
be
love that.
a little more positive and helpful to this world
Direct
today.
your energy in the right way to the right person. Don't follow the negativity. It's like almost like Joe Rogan says when he posts something on social media, post and ghost. I'm glad you read the comments, but don't let the comments get the better of you, or don't let
Yeah,
them, you know what I mean, bring down your day. Like you just said, instead of getting off or getting mad at somebody else, go tell somebody else you love them instead. And
yeah, yeah.
man,
There's a lot of bass
Billy,
players
this
out
is
there that would like to hear that, and a lot of young players too. Anybody sends me almost anything on Instagram or Facebook, and it's not that good, but they're
Mhm.
trying. And I
Yeah.
always say, hey, man, it sounds good. Maybe next time try to, play along with some records and really get a feel for time and give them a little advice, whatever. But man, keep at it. You're doing great. And they're like some kid in Sri Lanka or
Hmm.
Bangladesh or Malaysia or something like that, play. And I get about 7 to be with yous every day. And I would, they'd be croaking it out and playing on guitar. Say, hey, I'm glad you like that song. Keep going. Wish you the best. And I've tried to learn thank you in almost every language. So I give them a thank you in their own, a terima kasih for the Indonesians, or a komapsamnida for the Koreans, or obrigado for my Brazilian friends and all that. And it goes far. And I'll hear from them as time goes on. And now I'm in a band now, and hey, we're playing out. And the world is a
Nice.
better place as a result. Everybody can do something like that. I think we'd be in better shape.
Man, always stay humble. Always keep, interacting with the fans like you do. You're an inspiration. You're an inspiration on me specifically, but I know thousands and millions of others. But man, you said you're in Nashville. Me and the wife have been talking about making a trip there too. So if we end up doing that, let me buy you a beer and a burger sometime, and let's do
It's a
this. Let's
deal.
talk face to face. It'd be cool as hell. But man, you're an inspiration, man, and I really appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. I appreciate your social media presence. I know the fans do as well, and you keep doing what you're doing, man. Let us know what you got coming up next on your Facebook and everything. And man, I appreciate your time. Any last words or any place I
Yeah,
can put in the
yeah.
show notes to find you?
Well, Derek, I want to thank you very much for having me. Good interview, good questions, and thanks for your time. And to all of your watchers and listeners, just I hope I got a new band called The Fell. I got a bunch of other projects on the back burner, and I'll be out playing a lot more, much more to come. I know I'm an old man, but I'm still 16 in my heart, so it will remain that way.
Stay
But
that way.
hope to get out playing soon. Hope to see everyone, and wish everyone an absolutely fabulous rest of this day, and more to come.
Well, Billy, you're a badass, man. I appreciate it. I know my fans will appreciate it. We all appreciate it out there. You enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. I'm gonna get on out of here and deal with my crazy kiddos. Stitt-Heads, this was an awesome one. No conspiracies, just pure rock and roll. This is where I started in life, and that's where I'm gonna still stay till the day I die. So, Billy, have a blessed one, brother. I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Take
Bye.
care. Thanks, Derek.
You too.
All right.
Yeah, man, this was great.